Help me ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. This is my first time on this week. It's been a really full-on busy week. In fact, this deck arrived three days ago. Monday, we're on Thursday now. And if you was in the live on Saturday, so I didn't do my regular couple of catch-up and cards, I did a joint live, a dual broadcast with Chris from Elemental Cartomancy, and we were showing the decks that we received as gifts for Christmas. And we each took it in turns to share our presents, which in the form of decks at least anyway. And there was actually 3 that Chris had got that I was really interested in. The Dark Side of Tarot and Diablo, and then this one, Phantomwise. But I've learned in the past not to order a chunk of decks all at once, because then I don't get to fully appreciate them. So they've gone onto my wish list, and I'll probably just pick them off as and when. But this one I decided to take a look at and work with first. And the reason is, and it wasn't until Chris was showing these cards, because he got this set, by the way, that's what I'm trying to get to, for Christmas, that somebody in the chat said that it's Erin Morgenstern, who is the author of The Night Circus. And you will have heard me mention many times that I'm not a big reader because of my ADD. I really struggle, particularly with thick books, and this is just short of 500 pages. But I read this back in 2016 because I used to catch a bus to work, and it was 30 to 35 minutes. So I was guaranteed with there and back, getting a good hour of just sitting on a bus. So I used to take a book with me, and it might take me a while to read it, but I'd get an hour's reading a day. I kind of miss that now that I'm driving. And I loved this book. This was 2016. I can't believe it's 7 years, and the pages are already going that discoloured. But it's a fantastic book, The Night Circus, and it's the same creator. So it really piqued my interest because, and you can see the style is pretty similar. In The Night Circus, the big top, the tent, is black and white striped rather than the traditional kind of red and white striped. And everything in this world is very monochrome, and so is the tarot deck. But there is a character in this book referred to as the fortune teller, who actually reads tarot cards. And so I wondered whether there was a correlation between the book and the deck. Now, there's no illustrations in the book, so I can't compare. A bit like when I read WTF is Tarot, Baccarat Whitner created a deck on the back of that book, but you got some kind of rudimentary images in the book, and you could see that they correlated across. Can't do that with this. And it would just mean probably reading the book again to see if they describe the images. But I did a little bit of research. Well, I say research, it didn't take the brains of an archbishop really, just to go and find about the deck by doing a quick Google search. But in here, Erin writes, over a decade ago, while I was working on what would eventually become The Night Circus, because this is 2012, so yeah, 11 years ago now. So this is what really fascinated me. Over a decade ago, while I was working on what would eventually become The Night Circus, I painted an entire tarot deck in black and white acrylic paint. Last year, so this deck was created at the time of this book. Last year, I mentioned the deck during an extravaganza at the 10th anniversary circus shenanigans, and some people talked to other people, and plans were hatched, and now something quite extraordinary has been conjured in an astonishingly short amount of time. The Phantomwise tarot is a little bit circusy, a little bit Wonderland, and a little bit black and white fantasia of its own invention. It is loosely based on classic Rider-Waite-Smith tarot imagery, though here and there's also ballerinas and pirates and fluffy bunnies and curious cats to help you ponder your questions while you seek answers. And it also says the guidebook, by me, contains individual card meetings and original spreads. The design by the amazing Clarkson Potter team have elevated everything with a beautiful aesthetic reminiscent of silent film. And I was like, yes, because I do remember reading this book and thinking, I wonder if they'll ever release a Night Circus tarot. And little did I know that at the exact same time as writing this book, she was painting a tarot deck as well. So here we have it, the Phantomwise Tarot. On the side here, it says from the author of the Night Circus. And then on this side, her name, Erin Morgenstern. And then a 78 card deck and guidebook. It is beautiful. This packaging and everything is really beautiful. It's got metallic gold stamping on the 4 edges. And that will stand lovely on a shelf, won't it? You know, with the title on there. We've got the triple moon at the bottom. And it's a 2-part box. Now it's got some little tape. I always kind of struggle to get these off, actually. There we go. That wasn't a struggle at all. Is it on both sides or it's just on one side? Oh, so it's like a clamshell. Oh, that's nice. And again, I like the flash of red because if we see the design on the book, we get the black and the white and the flashes of red as well. So that's in keeping. Has everybody read The Night Circus? Do let me know in the comments below if you have. I've got this little bit of tissue paper here just to protect the cards. The book is quite thin, which is fine. You know, you don't need a lot, as they said, it's based on, even though the imagery has variations from Pixie's artwork, it is based on, I love that hermit. It is based on the RWS, so, you know, any RWS book. But, you know, you've got enough here. You've got a paragraph or 2 for some of the cards, so it's spread out quite nicely. And it's as good as any other little white book. So let's take the cards out. It's a nice feel. That has a lovely linen cardstock. So you can see here we do have a ribbon to help get the cards out. There is a band to keep the cards together, but that's a nice box. I like this design, this clamshell design. That's lovely. I think it's a standard. Now they're nice and thick. There is that. Come up to the camera a little bit more. Do you see the linen? But it's soft, very smooth. But you can hear it has that, and it's quite a nice, flexible and sturdy cardstock. It almost feels a little bit plastic. These are the backs, which are gorgeous. And I know, you know, black and white decks aren't everybody's cup of tea, but I like the images that I saw when Chris showed them, and I was like, yes, I have to get this. So I'm gonna bring the camera down. I'll do a flip through for those that just like to see the images, but then I will come back at the end and share my thoughts as well. Okay, so there we have it. First impressions, beautiful. It's quite moving. Not quite sure why, but some of the images, maybe because they're in black and white, but they feel quite, particularly in the minors, they feel quite melancholy. And yeah, quite, I mean, look, they're quite moving as I was going through it. Just as a side note, Chris messaged saying, what colour are you going to edge the deck in? And I was like, well, I think really there's only one choice, isn't there? Meaning black. But actually, I think I'm going to edge this in red because of the book, The Night Circus, and how we have these kind of red accents to it. And, you know, with the box itself as well, beautiful box as it is with this nice red on the inside. I think it'll look really nice edged in red. So I'm going to do that at the weekend. I'm going to edge it in red. If you're in Cup of Ketchup and Cards on Saturday, I will show it you if you remind me. But yeah, and I really do get this sense of the old silent movies. Erin herself said that the team that put the publishers that put the deck together had you know, worked hard to get the aesthetic right, and particularly to give you that sense of an old silent movie. And even with the choice of the font, you know, and these kind of lines, it's like what you used to get in between the pictures. You know, a blank screen would come up with this kind of font and everything on it. So yeah, this is like chasing a rabbit down a rabbit hole, the fool on the journey, kind of reminiscent of Alice in Wonderland or something like that, you know. But just that curiosity and wonder, and this little portal into a new realm. Again, you know, they've said about if you're used to RWS, you won't find this a challenge to read, but it does do its own thing. And this design as well, we see particularly throughout the deck, particularly when we get to like the aces, and I've just noticed there's lots of animals in this deck. I particularly love the rabbits that appear in the cup suit. We've got dogs in the pentacle suit, but yeah, they're really lovely. This reminds me of the Night Circus. Here we've got this couple, the lovers, on their trapeze, overlooking everything, way up high. The chariot is really interesting. There's no one in this hot air balloon. It's just there, moving, you know, through the clouds. You've got this beautiful starry sky in the background. The strength is, oh, I mean, what can you say? It's like how beautiful that is. Look at the affection. Really gorgeous. Love this hermit, really do. I think it is stunning. Wow. The Wheel of Fortune, quite simple, this spiral. And Justice, as you can see, you know, strength is 8, justice is 11, following the RWS. Interesting, I think I remember this image from Chris showing it on Saturday. How, you know, it's somebody performing, there's a spotlight shining on them here, but how the hat isn't even falling off or anything, but you can see this spotlight, it's like a performance, isn't it? Perhaps an escapologist. Death is really interesting. We don't see the face of Death, covered by this black and white striped umbrella, but we've got the big kind of sickle here, or is it scythe? I always get those two mixed up. Temperance. The Devil, look at him. Look at the shadows and everything. So let's have a quick check of the book as well. I often forget to go back and refer to what you get in the book. So you do seem to get a little bit more text than what you would with the minors, which is usually the case. But for the Devil here, it says, a figure sits. Now I really like it when they do this. When they describe the scene, because, you know, if you're going to do a little book that accompanies a deck, we want to know the scene and, you know, what it's depicting, and the artist's thoughts on why they've chose the scene that they've chose to depict the archetype of the devil, etc. So yeah, kudos there. So a figure sits with shadowed eyes and an easy smile, a little bit menacing and a little bit intriguing. A sweet-voiced temptation. The shadows here are dark, but the brilliance of the light also makes it difficult to see clearly. A time of sitting in the shadow of something or someone, bound by fears or blinded by illusions. The need to stand up and move away from the darkness at this table and explore the lights beyond. So nice little bit of writing to describe the scene. Here we have our tower. Love the perspective here of the star card. I love that we're seeing her from behind. I don't know why. It just, again, there is this sense of melancholy with the deck that I'm finding. But there's something very beautiful of her actually facing the star itself. We've got the vessels, these two jugs here that are pouring out. But I think it's a beautiful perspective. There's lots of pyramids in this deck as well. I noticed that in the, is it the Hermit's card? I think those pyramids in the background. I know I've seen pyramids a few times, yeah. So in the Hermit card here, there's pyramids as well. Let's pop that back. Don't want to get them too mixed up yet, or I'll be mixing them up when I edge them. Beautiful moon. We've got this little cat resting on the branch there, and the crescent moon. The sun with the sunflowers. Judgment, I do remember seeing this image from Chris showing it. You know, we've got marked here weighing. We've got the Ankh, the heart and the feather. And then we have our world card. We've got the world tree here as well. Which is beautiful. A little rabbit at her feet. Yeah, so all the aces, I think, are very similar in style. Yeah, with this kind of swirly pattern. The same with, yeah, they've got this very simple, you know what they are. The Ace of Wands, we get a single wand. Look at that. So simple, but really effective. I also love this Three of Wands. That's beautiful. She's just sitting there in the tree, looking out between the rocks. She's got her wands tied up around the branch, the bow of the tree. We do get the sense of celebration here. I mean, that's not always how I see the Four of Wands, but it's certainly an element of it. But with having this cake, it almost seems like a ceremony of a wedding. And when I first saw this, I thought, oh no, how cruel, they're beating this this dog. And then I realised it's a piñata. Well, at least I'm hoping it's a piñata. I'm seeing it as a piñata. Although he looks like he's managed to get away there if it is the dog. Such simple images, but really convey the cards well. And we have our cups. I love this suit with the little rabbits. I mean, look at that. How adorable for our Two of Cups. Isn't it sweet? Love this Four of Cups. Look how the cup is up on the branch there, you know, rather than a hand appearing through the clouds. Not notice that it's behind him. He just needs to look up. Five of Cups. Focusing on the three that are spilled, the two up on the shelf, again behind the person. Six. Love this. Look at this staircase going up. Someone, who was it, somebody left a comment saying, why is it, oh no, it wasn't. It was somebody from work, ignore me. I'm not going to edit that out. But someone was like, why is it when it's indoors it's stairs and when it's outdoors it's steps? I was like, yeah, why is that? 9, he's got all his glasses of wine, his goblets of wine all lined up, he's sorted. Look, little bunny's tea party. Reminds me of one of those kind of champagne fountains where they all cascade down. Our page is, that's quite typical. So you find with the page and the knights that the energy of the page is embodied, the kind of the animal, and then the knight is riding the animal. So we've got a little ballerina style performer here with her bunny ears, and then riding a rabbit here. And then we get our king and queen. Very watery feel to them. Then we have our swords. Very traditional RWS. 4, I love the blades on these swords here. Kind of reminds me of like a samurai or the boat on the 6. Less people in some of the images, especially the ones with like, you know, the boat or the chariot with the balloon. Blindfolded 8, but all she has to do is walk for, but notice it's the dress actually that's being pinned down here by the blades. The Nightmare card. That's really interesting because she's just laying there. These blades are not going into her. You know, she's in front of them. She can clearly see. King and queen, beautiful together. And then we have our final suit, which is the Pentacles. I think there's lots of dogs in this one. Yeah, look at that, little poodle performing, balancing the 2 of Pentacles. Very circusy. The 3 is very pippish, but we get that sense that it could be part of, you know, some ornate masonry or something. A 4. I like the 5 with a little dog on the lead. Look at that, the attention to detail. These are all kind of being created and threaded and beaded. And the 9, we've got the little hooded bird. Again, you know, no people in the 10 of Pentacles, but we still get that sense of home. What is it they say about English people? An Englishman's home is his castle. We've got the 2 dogs that we see in the RWS, one being patted by the older generation of the family, the older member of the family. There's that little performing poodle again. Absolutely love it. Love it. So, Phantomwise Tarot by Erin Morgenstern. Let me know your thoughts. And am I right edging it in red? I think I am. I mean, it would look great in black, but I don't know. I think having the red edges, this is a thick deck. Beautiful. Yeah, do you have this deck? I know it's not been out long, but let me know your thoughts, or if it's the first time you've seen it, what you think of it. But thank you for watching, everybody. I do have another deck that's been sent to me by Schiffer, which is the Grand Universal Tarot. So that'll either be tomorrow or over the weekend. And I will be here with a regular, first one this year, Couple of catch-up and cards Saturday at 7. So yeah, look after yourselves, and until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.